It's funny. I've worked for many types of people. And one thing that has been obvious and current, especially in hospitality, but to be honest, in every single workplace, is that good leaders are stupidly rare. What's leadership 101? Never insult people, never make people feel down about themselves. Belittle people, make them feel small. But do you know how many leaders I've experienced who do this? Who it's their first call of action. When telling someone they've done something wrong, they feel like they have to make them feel shit about it. When I say stuff like this, I'm told, oh, it's only hospitality, okay. What, so because it's been this way for the past however many years, it should still be this way? A good leader is someone who inspires people, who brings out the best in people, who makes people believe in themselves when they didn't think it was possible. A bad leader is someone who uses ego and fear to stay on top, who commands respect through fear, through belittling, through bullying. But do you know how many leaders are like this? How many bosses are like this? And how are they allowed to run companies, to run restaurants, to run anything? Because they've got experience. But they don't even have basic leadership training. They just convince themselves they're good. And yes, it does work for some people. Me personally, sometimes when I'm belittled, when I'm told I'm shit, when I'm made to feel weak, it does make me want to push harder. But that's because I've got a very unique mindset where I'm arrogant and I want to prove things to people. But even then, in the moment, it doesn't work. And I do feel terrible about myself. And I do have to push past that mental barrier. Only if you've got mental problems does that work on you, where you have to prove yourself as someone who is making you feel shit about yourself. That's some psychological, messy video that I could go in another day about how your parents have raised you. But most of the time, if you belittle someone, if you make someone feel shit about themselves, they will despise you or themselves, and it will make them less of a productive worker. That's 101. And I'm not some leader here. I'm looking to be a leader in the future, but I have so much to develop in myself before I can manage people's lives and souls like that. But even I know this. It's in every basic book on how to win friends or influence people. It's people 101, let alone leadership. But there's so many leaders out there on this platform in real life that are shit at being leaders. They only get there because they have such a big fucking ego that people who are lost are attracted to them because they think they've got it all figured out, but it's all a facade. It's an insecure facade. To be a leader, truthfully, you shouldn't strive to be perfect, because that's not a good example, but you should strive to be complete enough where you can handle people. There's a guy actually that is younger than me at my work that's actually a very good leader, and I'm in awe of him. But then he's been at that job for years. But me personally, although I can guide certain people, I don't want to call myself a leader until I've earned that right. Because despite how I present myself up here, I can be cantankerous and I can be impulsive, angry. I'm working on my stoicism. Stoicism, not to suppress your emotions, but to control them, a very different thing. I've made videos on stoicism before, please do check them out. But if you want to be a good leader, Chief, you need to understand people. And no matter how shit someone may be, or how much you want to judge someone for how they are, there's so much more underneath the surface that you don't understand. And if you refuse to understand it, and you can forget about being a good leader, you may be a leader, but you won't be good. Because a good leader can see beyond the surface. Within every single person is so much potential, and I know potential is nothing until you bring it to the surface, but that's your job as a leader. To make people realise what they are capable of. Because there are things holding them back. And you know what? Most of the time it's never their fault. It's because of the experiences they have had when they've been belittled by family and friends, made to feel small, made to feel like they can never achieve anything that isn't average. Most people can't break out of that by themselves because we are social creatures. We're constantly evaluating how we are in the pack, in the social hierarchy. And when that hierarchy is telling you you will always be a number 2 player or a number 10 player, how are you supposed to believe any different unless you're fucked in the head like I am? But there are qualities about people that if they are refined, can be the key to their success. And I'm, again, not a leader, and I'm not here telling you how to be. I'm telling you, if you're going to be, please do it right. Because a good leader can inspire thousands. A bad leader can stomp on dreams. And why would you want to do that? Yes, you need to address the negatives sometimes, and that's hard, and I don't really have an answer for that. But you need to focus on the positives. Focus on the things that people can be more than what they are doing wrong. If you can focus on the potential and the good in people more than the bad, be less cynical and be more optimistic. A leader is leading someone to the light, not showing them the darkness within themselves and making them live in it. Yes, you must confront darkness, but you shouldn't bury people in it. Because these bad leaders, they're not leading anyone anywhere. They're charging forward to their own success and pushing people down to do so. They're not bringing anyone up with them. And then that one person who was hungry enough to push past it, they claim that they were the reason that that person was successful. No, that person did it by themselves. You just gave them enough resistance training, but really all you did was belittle them. When I'm successful, there'll be a lot of people that want to claim that they were a part of it. There are a few that really have contributed to my life. A few strong men and women. But there are many that will probably say that they made me. And fuck did they. They, ironically, yes, they were a part of the journey because I had to push against them. And that's the irony of it. If you want to be a leader, or if you want to find a leader, I don't know what your goal is, but just do it right, please. One day I will be. And I hope to look back at this video and remember not to go off into the deep end. Because life gets overwhelming sometimes and you can fuck up. But when you're a leader, your fuck-ups are on view to those that look up to you. And that's why you've got to be careful. Say less. Do more. I'll see you tomorrow.